Oh, hi there. Didn't see you there. I was just packing up to go to my first Magic the Gathering pre-release event. I'm really excited, and I want to go ahead and just chronicle it and let you guys know how it goes. I've been really excited. So if you guys haven't known, I've gotten really into Magic the Gathering. I've been recently unboxing cards on stream, been playing the games at my local LGS. I even built a whole Assassin's Creed deck that I actually won a set with. It was pretty fun. So I've been really getting in tune with Magic the Gathering, especially the events in my local card shop, and I'm going to my first ever pre-release event. Now, for those who don't know what a pre-release event, the broad strokes of it is that a new set, in this case Bloomborough, is coming out next week. But if you want to get early access to these cards, you could go to a pre-release event, which you get a box of set boosters, and you build a 40 card constructed deck, and you play a game of Swiss rounds. Essentially, from my understanding, you essentially keep playing games until you tally up your total scores, and I guess from there the amount of wins you get is per booster. So we'll wait and see. This is my first time ever experiencing Swiss rounds before. But yeah, so a pre-release event is a good way to have exposure to new cards. And from what I've seen, it looks like it's a good way for people that are new to Magic to go to a pre-release event and try out some new cards that no one knows how to play yet, and just play kind of draft, which it's my first draft experience. Now, draft is essentially that instead of like buying cards and then building the deck from there, you get a set number of cards and then you build a deck and play from there. So this is going to be a great experience for me that I am excited about. So this is just me essentially chronicling my experience. Right now, it's about 11:35 at night. The event starts around noonish, and I just want to record my before, during, and after the event, and I just want to show you what I'm taking to this event and see if maybe you should consider taking it as well for your pre-release event if you're going this week, or maybe the next pre-release, which I'm looking forward to Duskmorn as well. So I'll start with some basic stuff. One thing you're going to definitely want to do is carry a deck box. This is a cheap Ultra Pro deck box. You've seen these time a dozen, especially back when I was a kid. These were common as dirt for you young Yu-Gi-Oh players from the early 2000s. So I have a bunch of these. I put my Lorcana, Magic, and anyway. So going back, I also am going to bring some dice. Now this is a little dice bag that I have. It has everything from life counters to your standard 8 die, your counter dice. I have some life counters down here, but I'm not. Well, I have one right here I can show you. Your standard life count. This is from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. I really like this one. It's really big and nice. So you definitely want to carry that. That's just a good way to keep track of your counters, especially if you're a newbie like me and you may not be able to keep track of everything that's going on. Some dice would be a good way for you to keep track of everything. Another thing that I bought a new playmat the last time I went to the card shop. I was actually originally going to go buy a different one, but the one they only had was a glossy looking one. It was like foil looking, and it looked cool, but I didn't like the fact that it would get picked up on the camera, so I was like a little hesitant on it. But I saw this one and I immediately had to buy it. Of course, I am going to be playing Bloomborough, and of course, I want to go ahead and play with a Caesar's Legion play mat. And I saw this thing, I immediately bought it. I love Fallout New Vegas, so to me, this was a no-brainer. So yeah, bring a play mat. That's going to be something you're definitely going to need. But anyways, if you're playing any card game, you should definitely carry a play mat because you care about your cards, right? Another thing I'm also going to be bringing is something that's going to be helpful for me for this particular set. Now, in Bloomborough, there's a mechanic called Offspring. There we go. Offspring. So Offspring is a mechanic in the game where you could pay an additional mana cost to play a creature, and you could pay that extra mana to get a copy of said creature. Obviously, you're going to need some tokens for that. Now, I don't have a lot of tokens to spend around, but what I did instead, I bought this really cheap, reusable dry erase marker cards that you could use to draw tokens. This is very commonplace in Magic, especially if you use the term proxies a lot. This is a good way for me to be like, oh, I play this card. This card has an Offspring. I could go ahead and just quickly scribble together with my horrible artistic and handwriting skills, so rest in peace to my opponent at least, that I could play with this. And the cool thing is, though, I didn't realize it because, again, I needed something really fast at the moment. It turns out this actually comes with extra dice, including 20 dice. So that's kind of cool. Not gonna lie, that's pretty neat. So that's pretty much all the gameplay stuff. I, of course, have my binder I might be taking with me just so I could maybe trade and stuff like that. Oh, wait, actually, I have one more thing I want to show you. You definitely want to bring to a pre-release event, especially because you're opening brand new cards. You got to get some sleeves. Now, these are the Ultra Pro Eclipses. I've been switching these onto these. I have the black and blues right now, and reds. Great upgrade. I think these sleeves are great for the price. This comes with a 100 pack. You don't really need a 100 pack for a pre-release event because you're only going to build a 40 card deck. But I like to carry extra sleeves just in case if something happens, whether one rips, tears, marks, or whatever happens, you always want to go ahead and carry some sleeves with you. And that's pretty much the basic gist of it. This is everything I'm taking with me, and I just want to chronicle my experience. I'm going to go hit the bed pretty soon so I could go ahead and get some sleep. I want to wake up at 10 a.m. in the morning just so I could go ahead and get some breakfast, be there by noon to open at the opening of the shop, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. So stay tuned. Okay, guys, we're here. We're right now in front of the card shop, and it's around noon right now. It hit the 12, so the store should be just open right now. I just got here. I'm in my car right now. I'm gonna go ahead and eat my breakfast, which I got some McDonald's. I'm gonna eat that, and then we're gonna go inside and see what it is. And there's no line or anything, so I'm assuming either everybody's already inside, or maybe they're kind of just opening it up. So I'm gonna eat real quick, and then I will let you know how it goes. See you there. So let's talk about the pre-release. So it's been a week since I did my pre-release for Bloomborough, and I went to only one day of the pre-release event. I had work on Saturday, so I wasn't going to rush myself to get over there on the Saturday pre-release, but I was really excited because I was really looking forward to Bloomborough's release, as there was a lot of cards I wanted to try out. I like the premise, I like the concept of it, and I really want to go ahead and attend my first ever pre-release event. So I'm going to go ahead and give the broad strokes of it. I don't have any footage of the event at itself because as the event was going on, I didn't feel comfortable really getting the whole tripod set up and everything like that, but I will show you some B-roll footage of what I did get at the pre-release, so you guys will know what I was doing there. So to set it up the scene, I got there around noon-ish, around the time the store opened, and I wanted to get there early just so I can make sure that I would get properly set up and not rushing anything, and thankfully that was a smart move. I did get there around 12:30. No, I got there around noon, and I ate in my car till 12:20 just to kind of get myself comfortable a little bit, and I went inside the store. Once I got inside the store, there was only a handful of people. Like I said, this was just opening hours, so there wasn't that many people there to talk to or anything of the sort. So I got there and I walked up to the counter and I said, hey, I'm here for the pre-release. When does it start? And I said, oh, it usually starts around 1 o'clock. So let's fast forward to 1 o'clock. So 1 o'clock hits, the store starts getting packed. All the people are coming here. I think it was in general about 30 people showed up for the pre-release event, and after around 1:05, 1:15, that's when the pre-release starts. So when you start a pre-release event, you essentially get set a number and counter. They put you into sort of like a tournament listing bracket, right? Where you would essentially get set into certain tables to play your games. So at the start of the pre-release, you get sit down on the table. They assigned it to you, but it didn't really matter in the first place because you're just only deck building. And what they give you is they give you a kit called a pre-release kit. Now in that kit, you'll get the following things. You would get a handful of booster packs, a 20-sided counter die, and one of the cool things is that you do get a MTG Arena code, so you can use them for your Magic the Gathering Arena app. So that's a good way to like still have those cards transferred over. Now it's just essentially a handful of booster packs. So the setup of a pre-release is that you get a bunch of random boosters, about like 6 or 7 or 8, I believe, and you start cracking them open. You start splitting up your cards and say, okay, I got to build a 40 card deck with the boosters I have. The lands are not are included at the store, so you don't got to worry about the lands parts. Now, if you're a little intimidated, like, man, I don't know like how to build a deck, especially on the spot, you are in luck. In the pre-release kit, they do give you a little pamphlet that does show you like general like deck building guides, saying like, hey, just make sure you have a good mana curve, and you should be able to get going. Now, thankfully, you could do previews and read up about the cards you could be pulling, so then you could build a deck around it. But unfortunately, I didn't want to do that on my first try. I just wanted to go there and just have a good time. So I was just sorting through the cards. I didn't pull any card in particular that I did want. Oh, and you also get a promo card included with the pre-release kit, so that's pretty cool. I got a promo. So I was sorting through the cards, and I was thinking about building a a green white deck at the time, because one of the starter kits was green and white. But I did pull a card that really caught my eye. It was a mentor card that had a very basic effect. It basically boiled down to every time you gain or lost life in that turn, your opponent would lose 3 life. So I was thinking like, oh, I could do burn damage to them. So I decided to build my deck around white and black, and it was not a good combination at the very least. So now the pre-release event starts. So it's kind of like a tournament, but this was my first exposure to this. So I come from fighting games, right? I know how fighting game tournaments work. You know, you have two people that play, double elimination. The person who wins 2 games keeps going, and then the loser goes to loser bracket, right? And I thought this was the same way for this event. Instead, it's called Swiss rounds. So the way how Swiss works is that you don't get eliminated, essentially. You still is a ranking. There's still a placement on how good you did, but generally speaking, you are just playing 4 games and seeing your results and go from there. So instead of like losing 1 game and you go to loser's bracket, you just play against the next guy who lost as well. So the way how Swiss works is the idea is that you're going from you're playing against someone who lost and someone who also lost as well. So let's say if you lose a game, you play against someone who lost a game. If you win a game, you play against someone who won the game. If you lose, then you go from there. So essentially it's sort of like a way to like keep you in the game. Now, as far as like rewards go, for this pre-release, I think the only thing they said was that every time you won a game or a set, essentially, you would get a extra booster pack. So there was no super competitive vibe and everything. So my first game, this guy knew what he was doing. This guy has been apparently going to this entire pre-release for the entire weekend, so he knew what he was doing, and I got completely lambasted. Spoiler, I got lambasted. I didn't even win a single game, and it was a pretty fun experience. It was my first time playing paper Magic against randoms in general. I've always been a very awkward person against playing with new people, but this guy knew what he was doing, and he was checking my shit if I was fucking things up a little bit, which, to be fair though, I don't take offense to it. You know, I rather someone tell me I'm doing something wrong and be polite about it versus enabling that behavior and then going to another game where maybe the other guy may not be as so friendly about it. So I appreciate that he was keeping me in check. I lost that game. It was not fun, but the good thing was that you keep playing. So I went to the second game and I played against a guy named Gio. Shout out to Gio. Met you at the event, man. You were such a cool dude. Thank you for playing. We played against him. I also had a great time as well. I had a little bit of better chance, but like I said, I did not do well in that game. So after the second game, I kind of was thinking like, I kind of want to call it a day now. I'm a little bit, still too many people, and I wanted to just kind of call it a day. So that's why this whole video took a little longer than expected. I wanted to get this video out by the end of the weekend, but other things came up, personal matters came up. So after that pre-release, I just went home, chilled out, and now I'm here to tell you all about it. So overall, I got to say, I had a fantastic time at the pre-release event. I'm super excited to go to the next one. If I could give you some advice, if you are planning on going to this pre-release event, remember that this is not a super competitive setting. I mean, granted, you are getting booster cards. Essentially, if there is some advice I could give you, and I'm definitely going to go ahead and go to the next pre-release event for Duskborn, which I'm way excited over. I love the concept of Duskborn, so I'm all in on that set in particular. I do recommend a handful of advice. If you are planning on trying to win, I recommend you read up on your preview guides. There's a lot of guides on YouTube out there. I should have done that for Bloomborough, but I kind of wanted to just go there and just play off of what I felt, you know, and I had a great time, even if I was getting my ass beat left to right and center. And I really liked the pre-release experience. So if I could give some advice, read up on some previews. The previews always come out for cards before the pre-release comes out, so it's like a good idea to build a deck around it. Have fun, meet some people, just be open-minded. I mean, look, I was admittedly a very shy guy around a lot of people, but yet when I just started talking like, oh, this is my first pre-release, this is which pre-release is this one? I had people coming for their second. I had people coming in for years of pre-releases. So this was a fantastic experience, and I just wanted to tell you guys about it. I'll let you guys know how the next pre-release goes for. In fact, if you're interested, after the week ended, or that weekend, I did pick up the Bloomborough bundle, and I did pick up the Bloomborough starter kit, which I highly recommend if you are trying to get into Magic the Gathering, at least more of a modern standard format. You do have those options, and I did pick up the starter kit, and the cool thing was that the starter kit also gives you arena codes, and I've been working on this Otter Red Blue deck on Arena, and it's been a fantastic experience to say the least. With that in mind, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more content in the future. I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and until next time, see ya.